Hello everybody, Gwingala Tunji here, welcoming you to Chijem's Associate channel. In this age and era of information systems and technology, it's important that we are abreast of information systems around us, and this is why we are going to be looking at types of information systems. And at the end of this video, you should be able to know and specify on types of information systems that we have. Transaction processing systems, you should be able to answer it in details. Management information systems, you should be able to answer it in details. You should be able to answer in details what office automation systems are. You should be able to answer in details decision support systems. We are going to go into details which at the end of the day you should be able to answer it. Executive information systems, what is executive information systems and how can they help us? Expert systems too. And last but not the least, we are going to talk about knowledge work system. So all these have their acronyms, but the acronyms, they are not as important as you knowing the details of what these type of information systems really are. That is key, that is important to your knowledge now. And at the end of the day, after we are done with this, we will move on to review the whole chapter, because types of information system is between two courses. It's between corporate strategic management and ethics, and also performance management. So that tells us that we cannot avoid not to know it, because at the end of the day we can be sure that something relating to information systems is going to come out in the exams. And even for the benefit of knowing it, for being in the industry, for being a businessman, a businesswoman, for also qualifying as a chartered accountant, it's important for us to have a lihood of this knowledge. Picking on types of information systems that we have one by one, it is important for us to remind ourselves what data is and what information is. When we are talking about data, we are talking about raw facts in their generic forms, and when processed they become useful information. So now we are talking about what can aid us and how they can aid us, the types of aid we can have in form of infotech, that is information systems. Number one, we are going to talk about transaction processing systems, TPS. Transaction processing systems, basically they are systems that help us when it comes to routine things that we do in the office or in our offices. So they help us to process daily routine works that we always engage in. That is what transaction processing systems always does for us. And can ask, what are the examples of transaction processing systems that we have? And they are quite numerous. Like, it is routine for accountants to post into the ledgers. So we have accounting transaction processing systems. We are talking about our ledgers, payroll systems. We'll talk about receivable payable systems. We'll talk about the production to and procurement of and purchasing. Many times we often call the department procurement. So they have their routine too, the inventory control systems, purchasing control systems, production planning control and control systems. These are basic example of TPS. We cannot avoid but mention sales too. Sales department, marketing department, they have their routine too. They have their sales order systems, delivery scheduling systems, HR departments have their routine too, daily routine too, and they have systems that aid them in form of posting employees record, in form of training records, in form of so many other records that employee like leave allowance record and like leave submission record, a whole lot that will fall into routine, and TPS we process them for us and we call them transaction processing systems. Transaction processing systems, they have their advantages, they have their disadvantages. I want to believe somebody will say they make our life easy for us to live in the office, and that is correct. It's one of the advantages. They can handle volume of information, processing it for us rather than going manual, and this is a very big advantage that we should not forget to mention in the exams. Also they are faster than we humans processing things by ourselves, so they are faster than us, they make our life more better, they are cost effective. They are effective than going manual labor. They are effective. Of course, they have fewer errors too compared to human error that can happen when we continue to process routinely, and at the end of the day, a lot of errors, human error, but less of errors when we are talking about transaction processing systems. And last but not the least, I'm going to mention efficiency. So filing our data record, filling into it like inputs, storing information. Generally, TPS is more efficient than human manual routine processing systems. Then the next one that we'll be going into will be MIS, Management Information Systems. Management information systems, when we are talking about management information systems, basically they provide managers with both routine and non-routine decision making and decision support systems. So they can be used for routine, they can be used for non-routine, depending on what we want to use them for. But basically they help managers to reach a conclusion about a particular aspect of our business endeavor. And oftentimes, many times, MIS, Management Information Systems, will take data from TPS, Transaction Processing Systems, and every other avenue of generating information and process it for decision making and aiding managers' decision making. So TPS can be a form of source of data into MIS. Let us take, for example, if a manager wants to take a decision about payroll, he or she will need to retrieve information from accounts from the transaction processing systems under general ledger and the like, and also may need to contact HR for payroll analysis and the like. So both the general ledger systems and the payroll systems, they are transaction processing systems that need to feed into management information system for that decision to be robust and to be concluded upon for effective, efficient decision making. So we see how all of them, they form chain working together as one unit of an organization. So what are the types of management information systems that basically we could have? Examples of MIS could be budgetary system or budgeting systems. We could have budgetary control systems, please don't forget that there is difference between budgeting system and budgeting control systems. Okay, cost accounting too and management accounting systems. Last but not the least, we can talk about sales analysis reporting systems. So these are aspects of MIS that are important for managers' decision making. Management information systems relies more on internally sourced and internally generated data rather than and less of outside or externally generated source of information. Don't forget we had our discussion on sources of information already, and if you were not part of us, then please check it out on the channel. So it relies more on internally generated information and less of externally generated information sources. So MIS could have a structured and non-structured approach to data processing. It could equally help the managers to take decisions that are routine and when I'm talking about structured and not structured, basically we are talking about routine, something that is not too formal and the like, but when it becomes structured it becomes more formal. Now let us move on to the next one, which is office automation systems. OAS, office automation systems. Basically, when we're talking about office automation systems, they are systems that help us to carry out what ordinarily we should have gone manual for. Like if there is no email. So email is an example of OAS. If there is no email, we will need to have typewriter, hire a typist, type for 10 hours, only to use the whole information within 5 minutes, and everybody is tired. But with emailing, with data processing systems, with word processing systems, electronic filing systems, these are examples of office automation systems. We can easily do what we need to do within few minutes, less stressful, and get the same, if not a better result that ordinarily we will have gotten if we had to go manual. So therefore, office automation systems are there to aid, help, and assist us in achieving quicker results, less stressful office life, and the like. And let me add a few of more examples that we can have for. With OAS, we can have a group, like group aware systems, where we come together more or less virtually, but within the same network and communicate instead of taking one file from one floor to the other and like go to headquarters, then go to, and we can have a group where we can have email, we can have electronic filing, we can have electronic storage and retrieval, word processing, database system. Now we have database, unlike before you need to keep piles of books just to receive the same, to just to record the same routine transaction. Just imagine what a banker's life would have been or was then when they were recording using MANA, the database of banks. Maybe you experienced it before, then you need to queue for a long time, then you have a tally number, they call it a tally number, then they will give you need to go early so that you can have your access to your money in the bank. These are gone are the days, but Office automation systems now has helped us to achieve quicker results, less stressful and the like. So the bankers and office workers are less stressed because everything is automated more or less and in autopilot, and everything is running well. So we move on to DSS, that is decision support systems. Decision support systems, and basically DSS is all about aiding support and supporting decision of the managers. Basically it's in form of modeling, forecasting and the like. Let's go into it in details, and let me quickly do a recap for the benefit of those that just joined us. We are dealing with types of information systems now, and we've took a look at transaction processing systems, which we call TPS. Basically TPS is to help us to process routine information, like accountants must post into general ledgers, HR must post payroll, leave days, leave agreement and the like. So all those systems that we use fall under TPS. Then we've spoken about management information systems, which is a bit popular among them, and that's MIS aids routine, structured and a bit not structured decision making of the managers. And when we are talking about management information systems, it actually relies more heavily on internally generated and internally sourced data rather than external. Then we've spoken now about the office automation systems, and we said OAS basically helps us to do things faster, automate filing and retrieval for us, database management is less stressful and the like. Now we are talking about decision support systems. When we are talking about decision support systems, we are talking about a system or systems that support managers making both semi-structured, unstructured or structured problem solving. So basically they are modeling systems, they are forecasting systems, they are planning tools like planning models, like spreadsheets is a good example of DSS. They know our spreadsheet, which we are very used to as accountants. Basically they aid us in making decision, though this may fall under the advanced Excel use, but we can use Excel very well. They help us to forecast, to permutate and look at the future of our organization or an aspect of our business endeavor very clearly. Then when we use it in such a way, we said that that particular spreadsheet now becomes decision support system. So decision support systems oftentimes look at different alternatives, options, create scenarios that we can look at before we finally take a decision, so that we know that, okay, if this happen, how are we going to respond to it? If that happen, how are we going to respond to it? So those are the things that DSS is helping us with. So let us move on to the next one now, which is EIS, Executive Information Systems. When we're talking about Executive Information Systems, it's a bit close to Management Information Systems, but on the higher level. Executive Information Systems actually provide information decision making on strategic level. So Executive Information Systems will collect information or data sourced both within and without the organization, unlike MIS, Management Information Systems, that rely heavily on internally generated sources of information like departmental and like. Executive Information System will rely on both internal and external, both within the organization and outside the organization, just to ensure that strategic decision making is guaranteed. And when doing that, EIS, oftentimes we use tools like graph, bar chart, pie chart, histogram, and the like. So it's user friendly, and oftentimes it summarizes the information projected to the executive. Don't forget that the executive oftentimes don't have time to go into details, but they need critical information that are validated and validated. So that is why executive information systems is a bit higher than management information systems when it comes to its the source of information and the approach to information presentation. So also, I must not forget to mention that executive information system can also be called executive support systems. So if you see in the exams, they say executive support systems, please note that they are referring to the same thing as EIS, Executive Information System. So we move on to expert information systems or expert systems. Now, when we are talking about expert systems, they are already around us. Artificial intelligence, they are already around us. These are very unique systems that could easily acquire knowledge, could easily dispense knowledge, they could make inferences and references to information, they could dialogue, they could make decision, they could query, they could work like human professional, and that is why we call them expert system. Don't forget, humans become experts in certain field. Likewise, we could have artificial intelligence systems, which we call expert systems, that could have acquired a lot of information, acquired knowledge, have database of expert knowledge have been transferred to it, could make inferences and references to what as it has learned before and take decision as if the decision that humans we ordinarily would have made in such a situation. That is expert system, and is so unique and peculiar among every other type of information systems. Rather, these information systems could advise people, they could advise organization, they could make investment advisory decision, they could make medical diagnostics, they could be in form of tax advisory systems, a lot of expert systems depending on the database of knowledge that we put in an expert system is that field that is going to be used for. So we can have an artificial intelligence system that's accounting expert. We could have expert systems on advisory and consulting, management consulting. We could have on any field, name it actually. So they come to help, they come to assist. They are not going to take our jobs because they don't know more than we put in them, though they can make inferences of what they learned and adapt it to situation on ground. But they could not acquire more knowledge base than what we've given them. So they have knowledge base, they could acquire knowledge, and they could use that knowledge that they had even in similar situation that are not the one originally we put it there for them. That is the advantage, and that is why they are like human, but they could not be human. So at this point, I'd like to ask us, will you have loved to hire an expert lawyer, expert systems lawyer? Please let us know on the comment side if you have loved to have a robotic and artificial intelligence to be your lawyer and plead your case in the court of law. I would have loved to know. Okay, let us move on to knowledge work systems. Knowledge work systems. So when we are talking about KWS, we are talking about a system in which we can use to transfer knowledge within an organization, and especially organization that has its branches and location in different parts of the world. So knowledge work systems actually helps us to impute the system into the system relevant, latest, modern information that could aid and help everyone that participates in one area of our business or the other, so that they can easily learn. And nowadays, KWS or knowledge work systems are in form of virtual reality, and we can easily learn as organization using virtual reality. A lot of organizations are actually using KWS as against maybe scheduling training everywhere and the like. What they usually oftentimes do is to put the latest knowledge in a common accessible location on the internet, and instantly they upload it. Staff receive alert and notification so that they can check the latest way in which the organization wants and love them to be participating in the latest technology and using it to serve their business purposes. So this is all about types of information systems on performance management, and don't forget that it's a topic in between two courses, the PM and CSME, corporate strategic management and ethics, and it's equally under performance management. And now what we are going to do is to go into chapter review about everything about information systems in performance management and corporate strategic management and ethics. If you are yet to subscribe to GJ's Chief, Bengalatunji will be signing off. Please subscribe right away, click the notification button, like us, comment and engage us. Let us hear from you. If you love the video, please don't forget to share it. Share, share, share.